Green Arrow number 30. Benjamin Percy writing. Otto Schmidt is back on art. So we've went
Yeah.
from one fantastic artist to another, so that's nice. As much as it's a very different style, and you do kind of wish they planned these out so that you had the one artist on the whole arc, but hey ho.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least I can kind of excuse this arc a little bit more because the idea that he's traveling to different places, different guests. It feels like a different style for each of those would feel appropriate to me.
Yeah, except the last three all had the same style.
Yeah.
So, but hey, so well, we actually start off with, first of all, there's the very on-the-nose political page where he's talking about what everyone's scared of.
That said,
Yeah.
I do think it's the most balanced Percy's ever been in his political speech because he shows both sides of the politics. People being afraid of various things, but
Yeah.
getting in people's heads as to why they vote whichever way, essentially.
Yeah, I feel like most of it was from the same side of the political spectrum. There was maybe one that was
Well,
from the other.
there's certain
There's
things
at
that
least
no matter where you're at on the spectrum, there are things that affect you. You know. So I feel that's where he was writing from because he definitely has a point of view when it comes to
Don't
this.
get me wrong. Like, I think they're all valid panels. I think the one that stuck out to me though is like, okay, we're really on the nose now. Is the one at the bottom with the
the
president?
last one, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay,
I
right.
also feel, and this might just be me tipping my hand a little bit. I feel like in a universe where there's superheroes, that person wouldn't become president. Like,
What one would hope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because everyone's got Superman to look up to, so why would they even
I
entertain
mean,
this?
you say that, but we did have a President Lex.
yeah, but Lex was competent, so.
Yeah,
Let's
Lex
be
is
honest.
smart
Yeah.
enough to pull it
Yeah,
off.
I'll give you that.
And that was even the whole point of that story was Superman going like, you didn't do anything illegal. You were the president of the U.S. now, and I have to respect that. But don't forget, I will be watching you.
So we go from that
Hero.
page to basically a couple of pages reenacting part of Mad Max Fury Road with Green Arrow on a bike with his arrows, but otherwise it's this similar big truck. There's fire everywhere, and you've got all these
It's,
nine
look,
circle looking.
you say that, but it's missing the big guitarist. So what's the point?
The
The
point
Doof
is
Warrior.
point is action. The point is all the yellow and orangey red colours to like contrast with his green, because the rest of the issue is going to be very green. We're going to get green overload in a minute. We're going to have Green Arrow, Green Lantern shows up, Hal Jordan specifically, and he's like, I heard you need a lift, and they have some banter, a couple of little callbacks to, the hard traveling heroes thing they had in the past. But Hal takes him into space to look for this eye in the sky, as it was referred to, this satellite that's using, it's not Brother Eye, before anyone...
I'm still disappointed actually because
really
that's always been how Brother Eye has been referred to before the reveal in every story that they do with Brother Eye.
But to be fair here, the whole idea is to set up this that they're actually using multiple satellites, and there's just like one router above Star City, and like, and to be honest, come on, this thing in the dark side of the moon they find, this big station, is
Pretty cool.
is pretty awesome. I was
It's
is, but it's
sinister.
not Brother Eye.
You look at it and you're just like, that's not good.
it's
Like
not.
you could look at Brother Eye and just go, okay, it's a satellite. This thing looks like a sword.
It looks like the apocalypse is coming. This is going to cause it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you stepped on my sword of Damocles hanging over by a thread because I feel that's what they were going for. But
So,
Yeah.
so no, I think this Green Arrow arc's been pretty great. I think the issue with the Flash was maybe a bit weaker, but pretty much since then it's been
You
firing
mean
in all
since Pariah
cylinders.
was on art?
Yeah, I guess yeah, that's fair. But like I think they're bonding here, and I think Green Lantern like saying, yeah, you like being the big fish in the small pond, but now this is an issue that's affecting the entire country, possibly the entire planet. So you're stepping out of the big leagues, but there's fighting and there's bickering and there's like. I don't want you to sneeze and like because obviously Green Lantern's like shielding him from space. He's giving him a green suit, as it were, and he's like, I don't want you to sneeze and accidentally like shoot me into space. He's like, trust me, if that happens, it won't be an accident. Fun. There's fun banter throughout, kind of like that. I really when I get into this big thing, this big station in the dark side of the moon. I love the look of the guy who's like guarding it. Like this guy who's in the command center. He legitimately looks like one of the enemies from Doom.
It does. Yeah.
He's got those things in his shoulders. He looks like one of those creatures from Doom. And then he
that
comes.
can't be an accident, right? Like that has to be like a shout out.
Probably, yeah, possibly. I don't know if Benjamin
It's-
Percy's a
it's-
games
it's-
fan, but
Very similar, so I'd assume so.
yeah, or maybe not even Percy. It could be Schmidt who's the
Could be,
fan. But either way, like it feels like an intentional homage to creatures from Doom. But no, so but I liked when it cut to him because with when the two greens are on panel, as it were, everything's very green. It's all greens, and obviously the black is space behind them, so the green's very overpowering. But then it cuts to this control room with this monster guy, one of the faceless dudes from the Ninth Circle, and the Burned.
The Burnt Man
is what I was looking for. But it cuts to him, and the room's just bathed in red. It's, the idea that there's the red kind of alarm lights going off, and he's like sitting there, and he's got this creepy like. Bringing back to Mad Max Fury Road, it's almost like the breather that the bad guy in that has.
Yeah,
that he's wearing.
actually.
I love the banter between Hal and Ollie, and I kind of want a team up book now, written by Percy.
Yeah, Brave and the Bold, or whatever. Take your pick.
Yeah,
I'd be down for a proper team book, not necessarily just these two, but cycles through, like I say, Brave and Bold. Just
yeah, but I just, he's doing once a month coming up with Green Arrow, and not that I want to increase his workload, but like he seems to be really good. Like we said, the Flash one was kind of weak, but the Wonder Woman one was decent, and the Superman one was really good. His Batman was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Batman
is. Though, is he elevated by the artist? Because, like, you mentioned the Flash one was weak. It was a different artist, but
I think to an extent, yeah. But I also think the Flash one was just I feel like Batman really hit like the core of Batman, and yeah, the art did help it certainly early on when you had all the city shots and stuff. Superman, again, like the idea of Superman flying through the city, catching like dozens of people, like just the ideas, I think were more fun in those books as well.
The ideas, sure. I'm wondering in terms of the the dialogue and the actual action, how collaborative he is with these artists, the regular ones. It's their book as well.
Maybe, yeah. I can see that.
How much influence they actually have.
I will say though, like I think the island stuff that we had for 2 issues was one of the regular artists, and that was pretty rough. So I don't think the art elevates it if it's just not like I think there was like a meeting of both of them together. So, but no, I like this. Obviously, the big cliffhanger is that this big monster guy comes out and whacks Hal into space, and it knocks him out, and then like. Ollie's like spacesuit starting to disintegrate, and he's like, "Hal, I need you, buddy." And it's like, yeah, okay, so he's screwed. So I think we have the finale of this arc next issue, so that'll be good fun. Of course, let's not gloss over though. Back in Star City, we have Red Arrow, or that's what Emmy wants to be called anyway. She's I actually quite appreciated her joke about wanting to go on strike, sidekick strike.
Sidekick strike. Give me a good chuckle.
But yeah, so her and Canary are underground, and they find the what's his face, the auctioneer. Yeah, so they find him.
That was super creepy. They have the girl they're looking for chained up like Leia in Return of the Jedi. Yeah.
So again, obviously that's been really slow moving through it because there's only been a couple of pages per issue for this story, but it's progressing nicely.
It is.
I've always smiled whenever we cut to it, and I never go to it and go, "Oh, we're taking away from the main story." Like I always enjoy checking in those characters, and this was no exception to that. So obviously Schmidt's good on art. Like we talked a lot about the colours so far already. I like his Hal actually. I think I would like to see Schmidt on a Green Lantern book. After this.
I think one thing I do have with Schmidt is his characters often look really young. Like his Hal looks quite young again.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's strange with Ollie as well because like he's supposed to look a bit older now. He's got the beard and everything, but he still looks quite young. So I don't know if that's intentional or not.
It feels very Darwin Cook.
Yeah.
Where they're kind of timeless.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's how I took it.
Yeah, I think that's just Schmidt's style. I don't think there's anything that's going to change.
No, I really notice it when you have a guest because you get accustomed to the regular characters, but when you see Hal, it's like, oh, okay, he looks quite young.
Yeah, I think that's just something you have to get used to, varying a lot as you're reading comics because it's going to be all over the place depending on who's drawing them, and even colouring them to extent. You draw in a 5 o'clock shadow, or you colour in a extra shadow on the face, and all of a sudden, the dude looks about 10 years older.